Are you getting enough fiber? Are you getting 30 grams of fiber in a day? Are you balancing your blood sugar at every meal? Are you hydrated enough? Can you take some magnesium citrate at night? How is your stress? Do you maybe want to try doing some sort of a gentle abdominal massage to encourage bowel movements and do that in a clockwise pattern on your abdomen? Can you start to try to do some gentle exercise to like kind of get circulation flowing? There's a lot of other things that you can do before you just go to a general probiotic without knowing what's going on in your microbiome. Hi, I'm Kelley Namiro. Welcome to the Balancing Chaos podcast, a lifestyle podcast where we'll talk about wellness, motherhood, and some really exciting things in between. My goal is to help you develop a lifestyle that promotes health, wholeness, and success. Through my conversations with our experts and guests, I hope to inspire you to live a beautiful, full, and joyful life as you navigate balancing the chaos. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another solo episode of the Balancing Chaos podcast. So today we are talking all things nutrition. And I think that this is so important and this topic is so important because I think that there on social media are so many mixed messages around nutrition. And that's because nutrition often gets mixed up for desired weight loss. Nutrition also gets mixed up with like intuitive eating. And there are so many different things that people try to masquerade as nutrition, but nutrition really means what we are doing to take care of and fuel our bodies for the long run, to fuel our cells, to fuel our metabolic health, to allow us to live not only the longest, but the most optimized, vital, energized, healthy lives for the long haul, and to do that in a really sustainable way. And that's why so many of these diets out there, whether that is keto or low carb or vegan for a lot of people, not to say that you can't do vegan right, but a lot of people will completely disregard the idea of protein, don't work long term because they are cutting out an entire macronutrient group. And the truth of the matter is that we need all of the macronutrients to be able to feel our best, to be able to look our best, to be able to maintain our weight with ease, to be able to feel energized, and to be able to have optimal hormonal health and to prevent chronic disease for the long haul. Metabolic health is the foundation. The foundation. I'll say that one more time. Metabolic health is the foundation for not only optimizing your hormones, but also for keeping your body healthy, preventing disease, keeping your immune system and your digestive system in peak health for as long as you possibly can. When you don't have optimal metabolic health, when your glucose is high, or you have high A1C, or your triglycerides are high, or you're insulin resistant, it leads to a host of a bunch of other issues down the line. And if we could just see that by optimizing our metabolic health, these markers like fasting glucose, your waist circumference, your blood pressure, your lipid profile, if we could optimize those things and be on top of them at the beginning, rather than doctors telling us that a glucose of 99 or an A1C of 5.8 is just fine and quote unquote normal, we could get ahead of so many different health conditions. So while not every question that we have today is focused on metabolic health, some of them are focused on digestive health, some of them are focused on pregnancy, some of them are focused on prenatal vitamins. I'm going to talk about all of it. And I just wanted to start out with that because in my DMs and when I am talking to clients about, things like what they should be eating, I think that there is a lot of confusion. And the reality is that we could just come back to simplicity. We could come back to this idea that we could have all of the macronutrients, that our diet should consist of mostly real whole food, and more people would be thriving rather than 90+% of the population dealing with metabolic health issues. So, with all of that being said, we are going to start with a question from Kelsey that says, how do you consistently get 30 grams of protein a day, 30 grams of fiber a day? And I think a lot of you have probably heard me talk about the fact that fiber is so critical for a few things. One, it is critical for blood sugar regulation, meaning that the fiber slows down the absorption of glucose because of the way that the roughage of fiber impacts the way that sugar gets into the cell and slows the way that sugar gets into the cells. And so when we have fiber, and I like to say like 10-ish grams of fiber at each meal, you are helping your body feel more satiated, feel more full, feel more satisfied for a longer period of time. You're also helping your body to improve the way that it eliminates and how it gets rid of toxins. You are helping to create more efficiency with your bowel movements. There are so many things that you are doing when you are getting 30 grams of fiber a day. The problem is that most people, again, 90+% of people, American people, that is, are not getting that much fiber a day. We are getting somewhere between 7 and 15 grams on average per day, which is really not great for your hormones. When we just think about the simple hormonal balance, estrogen dominance, we have to have fiber in order to excrete that excess estrogen from our bodies. The way that excess estrogen is excreted is by getting bound up in our bowels and being excreted through stool. And so if you're not getting enough fiber in your diet, that estrogen starts to recirculate, creating this vicious cycle of a problem. So that's one way. Or if you think about another hormonal imbalance like insulin resistance, if you are not getting enough fiber in your diet, you are contributing to the problem with insulin resistance because the carbohydrates that you are eating are causing your body to have glucose spikes. And yes, protein and fat absolutely play a role in this as well, but fiber is a key component to balancing your blood sugar to help you to become less insulin resistant over time. And so it's not just about gut health, even though that's a big one as well. It's about other hormonal imbalances as well, or optimizing your hormones, if you want to look at it in a positive light, as to why you need this fiber. Now, fiber is also really important, like I said, for your gut health. It's going to help to feed those microbes that are good and healthy, the ones that fuel your metabolism and your immune system and lower levels of inflammation. And so we want to feed those good bacteria in your gut, and they thrive off of eating fiber. So how do you get those 30 grams of fiber into your day? It's really important to incorporate things like fruits and vegetables. And what I will say is that before I even get into this, you should absolutely know what your baseline is. Because if you don't, if you say like, I'm only getting 7 grams of fiber a day, but then you try to go and get 30 grams of fiber tomorrow, you are going to feel extremely bloated and uncomfortable. You need to slowly, incrementally add the fiber over time. So fiber-rich fruits, think things like berries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries. Typically, something like this, like a cup of raspberries, has 5 to 8 grams of fiber in a cup. So have a cup of raspberries with your scrambled eggs in the morning and add maybe some sauteed spinach. You're easily getting to that 10 grams per meal. Apples, a medium apple has about 5 grams of fiber. A medium pear has about 6 grams of fiber. So just having some more fruit in your diet is great. Having more vegetables. Most people are not getting enough green leafy vegetables. 1 cup of cooked broccoli has about 5 grams of fiber. a half of a cup of cooked Brussels sprouts has about 2 grams of fiber. So like just by doing fruits and vegetables, it's super easy to get there. A cup is not a ton of vegetables. We can all get to that place, even if it is incrementally, we can all get there. Now, other things, if you're not going to have fruits and vegetables, you could do lentils, legumes, chickpeas. A half cup of cooked chickpeas has about 6 grams of fiber. About a half cup of black beans has about 7.5 grams of fiber. So if you have beans in your salad, they can be both a source of protein and a source of fiber, which is great. You can do whole grains. I'm not the biggest fan of grains. I try to keep those things in my diet minimal, but if you're going to do grains, let's say you're going to do like some overnight oats. A cup of oats has about 4 grams of fiber. A cup of quinoa has about 5 grams of fiber. Nuts and seeds are also a really good way. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds has about 10 grams of fiber, which is a ton. That's why that like internal shower that people talk about is a really great way to, get your fiber in, because it's chia seeds and lemon juice and water. And so you're getting fiber. Lemon and citrus is also a natural laxative. And then you have this water, it congeals in the digestive system, helps to bulk up your stool and helps to give you a proper bowel movement. And so if you're somebody who runs constipated, that's a great way to do it. So if you're snacking or if you're trying to incorporate some of these foods at meals, all of them are great ways to add to your fiber content. You definitely also want to make sure that when you are adding fiber in, you also want to be drinking more water, because having more water throughout the day helps the fiber to move through the digestive system. Because if you're just adding fiber and not adding water, it actually can make you more constipated. And then when it comes to supplements, there are fiber supplements. There are things like psyllium husk. Like if you take a tablespoon of psyllium husk and you put that in your smoothie in the morning, that can add an additional 5 grams of fiber, but that can also be irritating to some people who struggle with dysbiosis. Fiber supplements like inulin or acacia fiber can be mixed into water or smoothies to boost your fiber daily, but I always recommend whole food sources of fiber before you do a fiber supplement, because one, it's going to be more gentle and well absorbed by your digestive system. And 2, you're getting other vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients from the fruits and vegetables than you are with just taking a supplement. And so always go to the whole food sources first. So the next question that we got was from Mel asking about, do you need more fat or do you need more carbs during pregnancy? And here is what I will tell you. I think that it is really important to remember that with pregnancy, you need all of the macronutrients. You need fats, you need protein, and you need carbs. You can't be cutting out any of the macronutrients when you're pregnant. And so if that's something that you were thinking about doing, please don't. Also, that being said, you want to make sure that you are eating more of each macronutrient when you're pregnant than what you were eating before you were pregnant. So like in the second and the third trimester, you need 300 to 500 more calories, because the baby and creating the baby, making the baby are taking energy from you. So those are all things to remember. Now, you need these things for different reasons. You need more fat for things like the baby's brain development when you are pregnant. You need those healthy fats to also continue to help keep your hormones balanced. You're going to need carbs for things like energy production. So, and then you're going to need protein as the building blocks for the cells of the baby. So you need all of the macronutrients. So again, do not be cutting anything out. The healthy fats are absolutely essential for the baby's brain development, for absorption of vitamins, and they also provide an energy source. You need carbs because, like I said, carbs are your primary energy source. They help support fetal growth, and adequate carbs prevent the body from breaking down protein for energy, allowing all the protein you eat to be used for the baby's growth rather than because when you don't get enough nutrients of any kind during pregnancy, what will happen is the baby will steal from your bodies. It will leach from your bones and your muscles to try to provide for that baby. So you should be getting all of that through your food rather than having depletion from your own body and leaching from your own body. So focusing on the quality of fats, avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, fatty fish, things like that, rather than just the quantity is really important. So you should be getting a balanced intake of macronutrients from your diet, just like you should be before you got pregnant. And so that means about 40 to 50% of your diet should be coming from carbohydrates. The calories of your diet, 40 to 50% should be coming from carbohydrates. That could mean potatoes, it could mean fruit, it could mean vegetables, it could mean some grains if you're going to go that route. Whatever carbohydrates you like. I would not recommend doing processed carbs, things like pizza and bread and all of that stuff all the time, because that's going to be pro-inflammatory. But 40 to 50% of your diet should be coming from carbs. Then, just like before you got pregnant, 20 to 30% of your diet should be coming from fats, with the remainder then coming from protein. And so that would be another, 30-ish% coming from your protein intake. Like I said, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but both carbs and fat are crucial during pregnancy. And it's really important to emphasize the quality of these nutrients to support a healthy pregnancy. And doing so and making sure that you have all of the macronutrients and you're getting them from real whole food sources, you're much more capable of preventing things like gestational diabetes or even preeclampsia. There's so much research out there now that shows us that when you have proper metabolic health through pregnancy, you can even potentially prevent things like early miscarriage. You can improve conditions like PCOS. And so please just get all of the macronutrients and get them in the proper ratio in your diet. Do not try to cut anything out during pregnancy, because it does not just put you at risk, it puts your baby at risk. And so please, please, please make sure that you are doing that for the sake of your health, because I know that a lot of women go into this feeling this fear of potentially gaining too much weight or not wanting to gain more than X amount of pounds. And like, that should not be the thought process in your pregnancy. It should be nourishment. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, it should be, how can you be the most healthy, the most vital, the most energized, the most, optimal version of yourself during the pregnancy, so that you can support the baby in the best way, because your metabolic health also impacts their metabolic health and their future metabolic health from the moment of conception. So please, please, please do this for the sake of yourself and your baby, and do not care about what number of pounds the scale is saying. And I'm not saying that that's what this person was maybe necessarily saying in their question, but that's often the intention or the background of questions that I get from women who are pregnant. I really hope that you are enjoying this episode. I want to take a quick pause and invite you to come deeper with us if you're ready to explore the root cause connection to the symptoms that you're feeling. Whether you're bloated, exhausted, maybe you have brain fog, you can't lose weight. The WBK Health and Hormones course and our WBK membership and app are here to help you feel like you are empowered to take charge of your health and understand the real why behind you feeling how you do. And we give you the methods and protocols to heal with sustainable solutions.
Right now, through Labor Day, get 10% off our annual membership on the WBK app with the code Balancing Chaos, all one word, BALANCINGCHAOS, and 20% off the Wellness by Kelley Health and Hormones course, and an emailed lab review with the code Balancing Chaos 20. That's BALANCINGCHAOS 20. These protocols in the course have meal suggestions, journal prompts, and supplement guides to help you heal whatever area of hormonal balance you're struggling with. With our membership, you'll receive a library of content and new workouts, recipes, and meditations every single week to keep you consistent and to allow your body to come back to its most vital state of being. Okay, now back to the episode.
So from there, we have another question about digestive health. So let me go back. So what are the best pre and probiotics as well as digestive enzymes that you recommend? I'm having only fruit now for breakfast and I am constipated chronically. So for somebody who is constantly or chronically constipated, there are a few reasons that this can start happening, right? And what I will say to this person is I would not recommend to you to be taking a probiotic right now unless you have done specific GI testing. Because taking a probiotic when you have dysbiosis worsens the imbalance of gut bacteria. So dysbiosis is when you have an imbalance in the gut microbiome where there are harmful bacteria that outnumber the beneficial ones. And that is likely an aspect of why you're feeling chronically constipated. Most people who are chronically constipated have some sort of dysbiosis. And so having the wrong strains or the wrong species of probiotics are not a one-size-fits-all approach. If the probiotic contains strains that are not suited to your specific imbalance, it can exacerbate the dysbiosis rather than help it, making you feel more constipated over time. And so some strains of bacteria might thrive in an already imbalanced gut, worsening your symptoms. If you already have an overgrowth of certain bacteria like yeast or SIBO or candida or some strain is out of whack, adding more bacteria through a probiotic is going to fuel that overgrowth. And that's going to lead to things like bloating or gas or more discomfort. Dysbiosis can also trigger an immune response that leads to inflammation in your gut. And so having this new bacteria through a probiotic can actually aggravate your immune system, especially if your gut lining is already compromised. And so I see all of these influencers out there promoting probiotics like Seed. And it's not to hate on that one specific brand, but it's like, God, this is so harmful to people because you should not be taking a probiotic unless you know with certainty that you're not dealing with a bacterial imbalance in your microbiome. And oftentimes the people who are buying into these probiotics and falling for these sales tactics and these influencer marketing strategies because they see like, oh, like so-and-so said on her platform that her bloating got so much better or she got so much more regular with like taking this probiotic, and they think like, if I take this probiotic, then my bloating is going to get better and I'm going to be so much more regular. And it's like, you guys, the companies are giving these people who are marketing to you, who you admire and look up to, scripts, and they are telling them what to say. And they are telling them to say, hey, my bloating got better. I'm more regular now because I took this probiotic. But their gut health, first of all, who knows if they're even taking the probiotic? But second of all, their gut health and their bacterial balance is completely different than yours and what you're dealing with. And so I would much rather see somebody who's experiencing constipation take like a magnesium citrate than take a probiotic that could completely transform their gut health. So that being said, there are so many different probiotics and prebiotics that I use with clients. It depends on what's going on with their specific condition. And that's why I use a GI map, and we look at all of these different strains of bacteria and opportunistic dysbiotic bacteria, commensal and keystone bacteria, what's going on with their intestinal health before I say, like, yeah, I'm going to put you on Claire Labs or Microbiome Labs, or I'm going to put you on the pure encapsulations. Before I decide what strains to put them on, I know what strains are out of balance, what strains are in balance. Do we need to do an antimicrobial before we do a probiotic, or can we go straight into trying to promote those beneficial bacteria? Because there's nothing that is dysbiotic or inflammatory or immune related that's out of balance. It depends on what's going on with you. And so I would say, please do some testing before you just blindly take a probiotic or whatever it is, even a digestive enzyme. Like, if you're asking about all of these supplements, it's because you have some sort of an issue going on that you're concerned about, where you're feeling bloated, or, like you said, constipated or uncomfortable. So know what's going on in your body, and then take it from there. And if you're only eating fruit for breakfast, it's likely that you are, yes, you should. I think fruit for breakfast is great, but you should also be doing something in an effort to balance your blood sugar so that you can make sure that you are doing what you need to do to feed those bacteria, the good bacteria that are also impacting your metabolic health. And so I think that when you're asking, as a part of this question, what should I be having for breakfast that is balanced, that's plant-based, that is an improvement from just having fruit. Fruit is going to spike your blood sugar and then crash it, because you don't have any protein or fat to stabilize or satiate you. And so you're just having the impact of that sugar and a little bit of fiber, to be fair, without having something beyond that to keep your blood sugar stable until your next meal. And that can also be directly impacting your gut health as well. And so if you're thinking about what can you do to have like these options, like I said, like you said, for breakfast, where, you know, you are stabilizing your blood sugar, improving digestion, maybe you do a vegan Greek yogurt with some fruit and a little bit of a drizzle of nut butter on top. Maybe you do a tofu scramble with a side of fruit. So you scramble up some tofu with some seasonings like turmeric and a little bit of salt and pepper, and then you have a side of fruit there. Maybe you do a really great smoothie. We have so many great blood sugar balancing vegan plant-based smoothies on the app that also are high in protein and fat, that are going to keep you satiated and full for longer, that are going to help pull things through your digestive system, versus just having this fruit that's going to, again, spike and crash your blood sugar and not be something that's going to stimulate your metabolism first thing in the morning. So, with all of that said, I just want to go back to why other reasons besides your microbiome as to why you might be constipated. Maybe you're dehydrated. Maybe you aren't having enough food intake. When you say you're only having fruit first thing in the morning and you're not having any other food, the first thing that came to my mind is like, you're not eating enough food. And if you're dieting and you're trying to like lower your calories, and that's why you're only having fruit in the morning, it's going to reduce the frequency of your bowel movements. Maybe you are stressed, and that emotional stress can affect digestion and lead to constipation. Maybe there are some hormonal changes coming on, hormonal fluctuations, like if you're going into menopause or perimenopause, I don't know what age or stage of life you're in, that can slow digestion down. So just being aware of why, maybe besides your microbiome, you are constipated, is really important. And then from there, again, using the right tactics, whether that's adding things like chia seeds, going back to like the fiber conversation that we were having at the beginning of this episode. Are you getting enough fiber? Are you getting 30 grams of fiber in a day? Are you balancing your blood sugar at every meal? Are you hydrated enough? Can you take some magnesium citrate at night? How is your stress? Do you maybe want to try doing some sort of a gentle abdominal massage to encourage bowel movements and do that in a clockwise pattern on your abdomen? Can you start to try to do some gentle exercise to like kind of get circulation flowing? There's a lot of other things that you can do before you just go to a general probiotic without knowing what's going on in your microbiome. So, the last question that I am going to answer today is, I know you recommend the Sakara prenatal, but is the Ritual prenatal good too? So here is what I will tell you guys about prenatals. I love the Sakara prenatal, and I've been using it in all 3 of my pregnancies. And no, I am not sponsored by them. No, I do not get paid by them. I just really love their vitamins. I don't ever really eat their meal plans anymore. I just love their vitamin because it's the most complete vitamin. So Ritual is often marketed as this clean, transparent prenatal vitamin, but there are concerns that I have that make it less than ideal for people who are looking for comprehensive prenatal support. So first, Ritual is not a complete prenatal vitamin. It does contain nutrients like folate and iron and DHA, but it also lacks a lot of essential nutrients and essential vitamins and minerals that are absolutely crucial during pregnancy. For example, Ritual doesn't have calcium, which is so vital for the development of the baby's bones and teeth. It also doesn't have vitamin C, which is really important for the baby's immune system, collagen formation, and iron absorption. Vitamin C is necessary for all of those things. A prenatal, in my opinion, should have all of these vitamins and minerals. It should ensure a full spectrum of nutrients for both mom and baby. It should have everything that we need for healthy development. And unfortunately, in my opinion, Ritual falls short in this regard. Second, Ritual is not third-party tested. Third-party testing is really essential in ensuring that a supplement contains what it claims on the label, free from harmful contaminants like heavy metals, pesticides, and toxins. Without third-party testing, there is no independent verification that the product is safe and meets necessary standards. And that lack of testing can pose a risk to both mom and baby because the purity and potency of the ingredients can't be guaranteed. So while I understand that this could be appealing to people who are looking for maybe a more minimalist supplement or are looking for something that's a little less expensive, its lack of completeness and absence of third-party testing makes it a less reliable prenatal, in my opinion. So that's why I like Sakara. There are other good ones out there, but that's just what I've used in all 3 of my pregnancies. So I hope that that was helpful in answering that questions. So just to wrap things up, what I want you to remember is that most Americans struggle with some sort of metabolic dysfunction that leads to this range of symptoms, from fatigue and anxiety and weight gain to digestive issues and more chronic concerns to things like hormonal imbalances and long-term conditions. And I think that a lot of us make mistakes that are really easy to avoid, like skipping breakfast or eating just fruit for breakfast or blindly taking a supplement without knowing what our labs are telling us our bodies need. And all of these things can be problematic for those key foundations of metabolic health, whether that again is A1C, blood sugar, blood pressure, things like that. And so I think that it's really important to just get back to basics when it comes to nutrition before you even start any supplements. Are you getting protein, fat, and fiber at every meal? Are you eating 3 meals a day? Are you hydrating your body? Are you getting the foundational vitamins and minerals that you need from your food by eating mostly real whole food? And then from there, if things still aren't feeling great, can you do some testing? Can you look at your labs? Can you ask yourself, okay, what markers are less than optimal? Because like I said, even though it's considered normal, fasting glucose of 99 is not normal, or maybe it's normal according to the lab. It's not optimal, and it's going to impact the status of your health. So think about what lab testing you might want to do on an annual, or at least, on at least an annual, maybe a biannual basis, if you feel like you're getting the foundations right and you're still not feeling great. And we offer that testing at Wellness by Kelley through our lab review program, where we can easily get you blood labs, look at your adrenals, look at your digestive health, and make maybe a better suggestion for a probiotic or supplements that you should be taking, rather than trying to diagnose all of this on your own and potentially making the condition worse. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I so enjoy getting to talk to you guys about these things. Keep submitting your questions, and we will see you next week.
I really hope that you enjoyed that episode. You can follow me on Instagram at Wellness by Kelley, or head over to our website, wellnessbykelly.com. Sign up now for the Wellness by Kelley 7-day free trial on our app, or head over to our course. And now get 20% off the course or 10% off of the membership with the code Balancing Chaos, all one word, BALANCINGCHAOS. In our course, you'll get access to an emailed lab review plus protocols built out to help you heal with whatever hormonal imbalance you're struggling with. With our membership, you'll receive a library of content with our app, with low-impact workouts, blood sugar balancing recipes, and mindfulness meditations, all designed to help you balance your hormones and help you feel like you are living your most beautiful, joyful, and vital life. If you like the show, please leave a rating and review. That is the best way to help the show grow and get to more listeners. We hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next week.